And I'm excited today as a part of our Forward initiative, as part of our Forward Reveal, to reveal to you something that's going to be a part of each of these special Sundays during our Forward initiative. And this will be a significant part of what happens during these special weeks. And each week you will be able to see this giving ladder and what it can perhaps mean to you and your response during this Forward initiative. As we look at this giving ladder, there are obviously 5 rungs on this ladder. And the first one is the word occasional. In other words, we have folks obviously in the life and related to the life of our congregation who give but do so occasionally. They're at a place where perhaps they're not sure what they really believe about Christ. They're at a place where they're not sure if they're totally committed to the life and ministries of His kingdom and the church. And we're grateful for their presence and for their giving, and they give occasionally. We're asking those folks at that level to pray about and consider moving to another level, a level of consistent giving. How wonderful it is for this church to be blessed with so many consistent givers, folks who give on a regular basis, because the ministries of the church don't just happen once a quarter or once every 6 months, but the mission and ministry of this church is daily. It's 24/7, and we're grateful for those who understand that and who give out of response to God's grace and abundance in their life, and they give consistently to the ministry of the church. We're going to ask those folks to consider moving to percentage giving. Percentage giving is where we begin to really grow in our stewardship. We really begin to grow in our discipleship. And we understand that it's not about equal giving, it's about equal sacrifice. That's what percentage giving teaches us. That the person who gives 4% or 5% or 6%, as they're giving by a percentage, it's not about the total amount given, but it's the total amount given in response to what's left over. So we're grateful for those who are growing in their percentage giving. We'll invite and encourage all of these percentage giving folks to move up to a tithe. The tithe is obviously traditionally a biblical standard for giving, and we want to encourage every person obviously to give 10% of their income to the mission and ministry of the Church of Christ. What if every person tithed? Well, we can all imagine, and it doesn't take us long to begin to realize how significant the impact would be. We're inviting any and all in these first steps on the giving ladder to prayerfully consider moving to a tithe as we move forward with God's call. And then there is a final step on the giving ladder, and that is abundant giving, over and above the tithe. And you may not realize this, but we have many, many families within our church family who give above and beyond the tithe. There is actually a level of teaching that believes the tithe is what is really already is God's, belongs to God, and we only really give any kind of offering when it's over and above the tithe. I'm sure perhaps most people aren't quite ready to go to that level. But those of you who are at a level of tithing, we want to encourage you to prayerfully consider going beyond the level of the tithe to abundant giving. Every one of us in this room today are somewhere and can be found and find ourselves somewhere on this giving ladder. As a part of our Forward initiative, I want you to be praying about your participation, praying about your response, praying about moving up the giving ladder during this campaign. I'm encouraging you in every way that I know how to persevere, to run the race. We're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, so many who've gone before us, so many who have set the pace, so many who have made it possible for us to enjoy all that we enjoy today in the life of this church family. I want to invite you to be a participant and to be someone who prays for this initiative and for your response in this initiative.